For those who haven't been watching, I did 36 hours of fasting and it just ended, and I'm super excited to share with you my experience real quick about how it went and what I would change in the future, or if I wouldn't change anything. Let's get right to it. So I did 36 hours of fasting, where I started in the evening at like 8:45 p.m. right after a pretty big dinner, and then I slept, and then most of my hours during sleeping covered that some of that window, then the whole next day, and then the next sleeping cycle as well, where I did go to bed a little bit earlier than usual for me. And then right in the morning, I got up early enough to get my child to school and everything, and then it was over. So it didn't feel that bad at all. I've actually been hungrier as I'm eating, which is, I know, a contradiction, but it's true. It's happened to me where I didn't feel that hungry ever. I felt hunger, and I would use an actual little tiny grain of rock salt under the tongue, and that would help the craving almost instantly, the hunger. And so also I drank coffee, black coffee, tea, and lots of water, and all of that seemed to hold me over. Now, I did prepare for this, which means don't go into it unprepared. I chose a date that I knew that everybody in my family would be covered with food, that I wouldn't have to cook a meal, that I wouldn't have to smell foods being cooked, that, yummy, delicious food being cooked, and that I wouldn't have to be doing it either. So I prepped stuff the night before and for the next day. And at work, I didn't sit where other people were eating. So a lot of little tips and bits that helped me succeed in it was having things prepared, choosing a time that I knew that I wouldn't be so physically active, that I would be more laid back, not so stressed, that the situation, my work environment wouldn't be stressful. That is a great time for you to try this 36-hour fast if you decide to do it. I actually loved it. I didn't think I would. I thought it would be really, really bad, that I would do it once and never do it again. But honestly, I think I'm going to try to do this weekly, which means once a week, probably the same Sunday through Monday, Tuesday morning, because it seems to be a good time. I enjoy the weekend with my family, get to eat the things we like to eat, or that I could eat within the keto that I love to eat, and then start the week off. Mondays are already, so it's a good time to choose for me. Just get it over with, get the worst part over with. But honestly, it wasn't bad. I don't feel drained. I don't feel exhausted. I slept okay. I wouldn't say that I slept great. That was the most hunger I felt, was right before I went to sleep. But even as I woke up throughout the night, which isn't very normal for me, it wasn't really feeling hunger. It was just kind of like, oh my gosh, you went to bed way too early and you don't normally sleep this much. But it wasn't bad. I would definitely do it again. I'm super excited. The scale did reflect 2-pound loss, which is great. I know a lot of that, like I always say, is water weight, because this is still very early on in my keto process. But I'm excited because that motivates me. That gets me excited and worked up about continuing on, supporting others, helping others support me, just inspiring you guys. I hope that me sharing my story inspires some of you to do the same thing. Keto is a way of life. I know it sounds difficult. I know it's easy to fall off a wagon when you have years and years of eating certain things, of doing things certain ways. Avoiding processed foods, even in the keto friendly zone, will help you succeed. A lot of people think, oh, okay, but I'm not losing enough weight, I'm stalling. Look at that scale. Are you going down 1.5 to 2 pounds a week? Because if you are, and you've already been doing it for a couple weeks, that's actually quite normal. And that's a healthy way of losing weight. So don't stress about the fact that you're not losing weight, that you're stalling. If you are losing some weight, 1.5 to 2 pounds is a good, nice mark for you, depending on how much obviously you currently weigh. That's good. That's good enough. And now if you include fasting in there, it will speed that up. But also you have to go with your comfort level. Don't give up on the keto if you think that you're stalling, but you're not. If you are stalling, then look at what you're eating, because more than likely you're sneaking things in there that are like keto friendly, but they add up. And the carb count is super duper important. The amount of protein and fat is super important. And if you're skipping those things, and or not counting them more or less in your head. Like I don't like feeling like I'm on a diet. Don't get me wrong. Like I like to know that the thing I enjoy about keto is that if I keep the carb count down by knowing to avoid all those foods, then I don't have to do too much thinking with the rest of my food because I know what's a good safe zone of foods and I go to those first. Now, have I in the past gone too far with my carbs? For sure, especially with cheese because I love cheese and some of them are not zero carb. Just keep that in mind that if you do stall a little bit, look at what you're doing. And I'm here, and there are plenty of other sites here to support you and guide you through this process to get the ball rolling correctly. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe down below, leave me a comment, tell me about your journey, about what you're going through, and have you tried fasting and how long for? I've heard there's up to 72 hours. This is all more for healing your inner body and stimulating your metabolism, cognitive improvement, even Alzheimer's. I've heard so much, there's so much wonderful information out there that it's honestly too hard to say it's not true. So I have seen the results of it. I know how I feel and I know how many people feel, but I also know that there are people that will say, oh, that's fake, or it doesn't work, or it's not healthy. If you do it right, if you follow it, and if you don't fall off the wagon often, then you'll be fine. Then you'll be improving your health overall. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.